Hi, this is a quick tutorial to show you how to work in Qt5 and create a debug window at the bottom of your application. Whenever you have a GUI, outputting debug information is not always a very easy thing to do. So here is a sample way of doing this. So what I'm going to do here is take an application that I've already created. There are no signals, no slot. What I have here is very simply a label here. I have a line edit, I have a button, and then I've added a calendar widget. And let's verify that it works. I'm going to compile it. Okay, it's building. I'm seeing this here. And let's see, my widget shows up on a different window. Here it is. So I have my application. It doesn't do anything, but let's assume that I'd like to start putting some code, and I want to debug, get some information about what's going on as the application is run. So very simple. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my GUI here in the design editor. I'm going to click on the outside frame. I'm going to break the layout. Alright, so now my widgets are free floating. So what I'm going to do is make this a little bigger, and I'm going to add at the bottom a text browser. So a text browser is an output only widget where you can display text, and we're going to connect it to the rest of the widgets with a splitter. So I'm going to go down my list and look for the text browser, which is right here. Add it here. I'm going to resize it. Alright, and I'm not going to create a grid right away for everything. I'm going to select the widgets or groups of widgets that are just above. So these two I will want to somehow move together with a splitter. So the smaller the text browser I'm going to make, then the bigger the calendar. So to do that, all I need to do is, as soon as I've selected these two and they're one above the other, you're going to see that at the top I have extra icons, and here layout horizontally in a splitter. That's not what I want. I want the vertical, which is right here, layout vertically in a splitter. So I'm going to click this, and so these two are connected, and I don't know if you can really see this, but right here is a little dot indicating that there's a slider that later on, when my application runs, I'll be able to work with. So I'm going to click on the main frame for my GUI and then create a grid. Alright, so now let's run, see what I get. Takes a little while. It appears on the other window. Here it is. So you see that I have my splitter, and I can completely remove it or open it up, which will be a nice feature. When you're debugging, you can open it up and look at the messages that are printed, and otherwise, if the application you want to run it kind of in release mode, then you can close it. So that works. It's very good. So let's add a we just need one method in our main application to support this. So we're going to go to the edit mode and go into the headers. Alright, main window, and I'm going to add a new method. So probably make it public is a good idea. It's going to be a void method. I'm going to call it debug. You can call it whatever you want, and I'm going to assume that whenever I call it, I give it a string, and I'm going to use the Qt5 string type. Okay, so let's assume they'll be called S. Alright, so now I have my prototype here for my method. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to add the body to the .cpp file, and I'm going to add it right here. It belongs to this class, so I'm going to put that as a prefix in front of it. So now I have the declaration. I'm going to add a body, and all I want it to do is really to put the message S into the text browser. So I go through the UI, which is a pointer, and look for text browser, which is right here, and text browser I want to append the string s. That's it. That's all I need to do. All right. To test this, why don't I create a slot associated with the button, and this will allow me to have a listener, if you will, a slot for the push button, so that when I click the push button, I can test that I can have a debug message appear. So in order to do that, I go back to my form, click on the button, control click, go to slot. Alright, so when the button is clicked, this is what I want. That's the signal that I want. I want this method on push button click to be called. And so all I'm going to do here is I'm going to say, well, whenever it's clicked, I'm going to say click. That's the message that I want to see appear in the text browser. Alright, so all I want to do at this point. So I'm ready to compile. Okay, and if I click the button, you see that I have my debug message here. If I'm not interested in seeing it, then it will be there. You can get more sophisticated, you can add a clear button so that you can clear everything, but at least this gives you an idea of a way of creating a debug window and displaying debug message, and then when you don't want to see it, then you can close it.